You know, it's funny. Sending money used to mean writing a paper check or hunting down an ATM. Now, it's just a tap on your phone. It honestly feels like magic, doesn't it? But what's really happening in that split second between you hitting send and your friend getting that little notification? Let's pull back the curtain on that journey.
I mean, we all use these apps pretty much every day, right? Venmo, Zelle, PayPal. They've totally woven themselves into the fabric of our lives, whether we're splitting a dinner bill or just paying rent. They've made things incredibly convenient. But have you ever actually paused to think about what's going on behind that slick, simple interface? It's not just a digital dollar magically appearing in someone else's account. Oh no. It's a high-speed, high-stakes trip through a really complex digital world.
And here's the catch with all that convenience. The easier it is for us to send money, well, the more attractive it becomes for scammers. P2P scams are skyrocketing, which means every single one of our transactions needs, well, it needs a bodyguard.
And that bodyguard? It's artificial intelligence. The very first stop on your money's journey, and we're talking happening in literal milliseconds, is this incredibly sophisticated security check. This isn't some old school antivirus software. This is an AI system built from the ground up to protect your transaction right from the start. So, how does this AI bodyguard stay one step ahead of the bad guys? Through machine learning. See, it's not working off a static set of rules. It's a living, dynamic system that is constantly learning. Every transaction, the good ones and the fraudulent ones, teaches it something new. It just keeps getting smarter and better at spotting the next scam. And that leads us to the next tool in its kit, predictive analytics. You can think of the AI as a digital detective. It sifts through millions of past transactions to recognize the telltale patterns of fraud. This way, it can actually predict a potential attack and stop it before it ever happens. It's proactive, not just reactive. And think about how you log into your app. Passwords, PINs, those can be stolen or guessed, but your fingerprint, your face, those are uniquely yours. Biometric authentication uses AI to confirm these one-of-a-kind physical traits, creating a security layer that is just incredibly tough for a scammer to get through. So here's how it all comes together in this kind of six-step digital dance. First, the AI gathers data to learn what's normal for you, your spending habits. Then it builds a model to detect anything that's not normal. And then it just watches, in real time, for anything that seems a little unusual. And because it's always learning, it adapts. If something looks fishy, bam, it alerts you immediately. It's protecting every single dollar you send. Okay, so your transaction has passed the security check, it's been verified. Now what? How does the money actually get from your bank to your friends? Well, it enters what I like to call the financial superhighway, a huge network, like the Automated Clearinghouse, or ACH, that connects all the banks. Now, for most of our everyday payments, that coffee you bought a friend, your share of the rent, this system uses something called net settlement. Instead of sending every single transaction one by one, which would be a huge mess, the banks just bundle them all up. Then, at the end of the day, they just settle the final difference. It's super efficient and cheap for handling massive volumes of small payments. But what if you're a big company sending a multi-million-dollar payment? You can't exactly wait till the end of the day for that to clear. For that, there's gross settlement. Here, each transaction is treated like a VIP. It gets processed and settled all by itself instantly. It's basically the express lane on that financial superhighway. So to break it down really simply, net settlement is the workhorse for all our daily, high-volume stuff. It's cheap, but there can be a little delay. Gross settlement, on the other hand, is for the big, time-sensitive payments. It's instant, it's super secure, but it costs more. And that's exactly why your Venmo payment and a massive corporate wire transfer travel on two totally different paths. So the money is moving, but that's not the only thing being sent. Every single time you send money, you're also sending data. You're creating this detailed digital footprint that tells a whole story about you. And these companies have a serious legal duty to protect that data. I mean, look at this quote right from the Splitwise Terms of Use. It says it right there. They must tell you exactly how they collect, store, and use your personal info. It's not a suggestion, it's a legal requirement. So what data are we even talking about? Well, it's way more than just the dollar amount. It's your name, your email, your bank info, your entire transaction history, who, what, and when. It's even your social connections and your device and location data. Which makes sense, right? If you suddenly send money from a country you've never been to, that's a huge red flag for that AI bodyguard.
But of course, it also means your data can be used for things like targeted ads, which just highlights how critical it is to protect against data breaches. And then, finally, the money arrives safely in your friend's account. The journey is complete. But the story absolutely does not end here. The technology powering this whole thing is constantly changing, always looking toward the future.
But for all its incredible power, we have to be honest. AI isn't foolproof. It's a genius at spotting patterns in data, but it doesn't get context or nuance the way a person does. That means it can be tricked by new, creative scams it's never seen before. And this is why the absolute best security isn't just AI. It's AI working with human experts. The AI handles the insane volume and the real-time speed, while the humans provide that deep contextual understanding and can figure out how to respond to brand new threats. It's a true partnership, a fusion of machine speed and human wisdom. And looking ahead, that partnership is only going to get stronger. We're talking about advanced biometrics that can analyze your voice or even the way you walk. There's blockchain, creating unchangeable transaction records. New kinds of cryptography are being built to resist quantum computers. And maybe most importantly, something called explainable AI, which will help us finally understand why an AI made a certain security call.
And all of this brings us to one final, really crucial question. That simple tap on your phone kicks off this incredible journey of technology and trust. But as these AI systems get more and more powerful, more autonomous in protecting our money, what happens when they get it wrong? When a perfectly good transaction gets blocked, or worse, a fraudulent one slips through? Who's ultimately responsible? That's the big conversation we're all going to need to have as we step deeper into the future of money.